Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to the channel today. Well, I'm on my own personal ride of a 2025 model Yamaha Xmax 300. I bought this about 3 weeks ago, and up until this stage I've put up around about 500 kilometres on it. Now here in Australia, the country of origin, I paid $10,390 right away with 12 months rego, so that's a going rate for one of these. And I'm fairly happy with how things are going so far. So it's been an event-free running in at the moment. And like I said, I've done about 500 kilometres. Now, a little bit of a stats on these bikes is that they weigh about 180 kilos in weight. They've got a 15-inch front wheel, 14-inch rear. They're fitted with all the safety features, like they've got dual-channel ABS, and they've also got traction control. And seeing this as the latest and greatest of the Xmaxes, you could say, compared to the previous model, this particular bike has also got the power windscreen, and as you can see by this on-ride review, it's got the new style dash, where before they had last year's model, it was sort of split into a bottom and a top section, and had the speedo and all that up the top. With this one now, they've integrated into a single a dash set up there, and you've got your speedo on the left-hand side, and all the info you want to know on the bike on the right. So, like I said, I put up around about 500 kilometres on it to date. Now, I do find one good thing about an Xmax is they put out around 28 horsepower. So from that point of it, they are really I wouldn't say a powerhouse, but they do run a lot better than the smaller 150cc ones, where they struggle once they get up around 100 kilometres an hour. Where your 28 horsepower Xmax, it has no trouble setting on 100 kilometres an hour, but more importantly, it pulls hills really, really well. Now, the best thing about an Xmax, say, compared to an NMAX is nice and nimble around town, and you can move it around and get through the traffic a lot quicker because these Xmaxes are a lot bigger scooter. But on the other hand, they just haven't got the power to maintain like a very easy 100 kilometres an hour once you get out along the road and start cruising. And then they're handicapped even more when you get to the hills and stuff like that. Well, you know, from past experience, I know what it's like having those NMAXs and getting to a hill, and that's why I've gone back to this idea of having the Xmax. By the way, I'm just pulling up here because I've come through this creek crossing, and last time I was down here, just in the water there where you see the fast running water, there was a trout down there just swimming around in the hole, and this is a dedicated trout stream in the area, and I thought I'd just pull up there and have a bit of a peep what goes on and if there's any out today. But, you know, clear run there, nothing like that, so I just sort of carried back on. Yeah, so let's get on to the fuel economy side, because everyone likes to know how good something is on the fuel economy. Now, my 500 kilometres at the moment have been done all around, you know, the back roads of where I live. So I've been running around 70, 80, 90 kilometres now, and I've been averaging now, according to the trip computer, 2.8 litres to 3 litres per 100 kilometres. So at this stage, like I said, I've clocked up 500 kilometres, but when I first got the bike, I ran it to around about 400 kilometres and then put more petrol in it after that, because I, you know, didn't want to run this on a low fuel straight up on a brand new bike. Now, this model has got the power windscreen, which, you know, I wouldn't say it's been a big improvement over the last year's model, because I had last year's model, and if you want to move the screen up and down one of those, you just unbolt 4 bolts on the front of the windscreen, lift it up the higher setting. Well, this one here saves you that problem, and it's just a click of the button or press of the button, and you can take it up to the high setting. And when you take it up onto the high setting, I found that the wind was still whooshing around as you're going along, so I thought the best position for me when I was riding it was to drop it back 2 inches from the top and then cruise along like that, which I found adequate, unless I got out and it was really windy when I was riding around. So that's a bit of a drawback there. Now, while we're talking about the ride quality out on the road, the Xmax is a little bit harsh in the suspension side, so you know, you do feel the bumps. It doesn't. I actually think it's better than the Forza 350, which I owned a couple of years back, and I thought the suspension was better than that. But in this particular one now, I'm riding with a, you might have heard of those Airhawk seats. They're ones you just blow a little bit of air into the cushion, sit on it that way. And if you set that up right and don't overdo the air insert into it, you'll find that the ride is pretty good. And it'll save you spending hundreds of dollars on a set of rear shocks, which may not help you a great deal in that line. So overall, you know, when you're going along, you've got nice clear mirrors to look out of, so there's no trouble there. Nice clear image behind you. A little bit of vibration I found so far at around that 80 kilometres an hour in the bars, but in the footwell itself or down the floorboards, really good in that line. So, you know, it's really nice in that line. No buzz or anything like that going through it. And the best thing about the Xmax or the scooters too, these come with tubeless tyres, which can get you out of a rut, you know. On the off chance, if you ever do get a puncture, very good chance if you're carrying a kit, you can go ahead and probably do that puncture repair kit on the side of the road yourself. And the other thing is, I also like the 45 litre storage compartment under the seat, which is good for me because I can cart a couple of drones along. You know, I usually take a DJI Air3s drone and the Mini 5 Pro drone and a controller, and all that sits under the seat. And compared to some of the other scooters with under-seat storage, when you've been riding along with these for a bit of a distance, the best thing about it, the underside seat doesn't heat up that much that, you know, like you touch anything, you put it under there and it's like a small furnace when you reach down and rip it out. So I like that idea too. I also like the smart looking headlight design on these ones. You know, I like that cross sort of Xmax sort of front end on it. Back end's nice. It's got plastic. These are well built scooters and they're really put together well, so you got no worries about anything like that. And the best thing about the Xmax, they're really good long-term reliable scooters because I've never had any issues with them or anything like that. And more importantly, they handle the bends, they swing around the corners with no effort whatsoever. And, you know, when you get things going and you put quite a few kilometres on it and you pass the run-in stage, which is roughly 1,000 kilometres, you can get out on land cruise along with 100, 110 kilometres an hour if that's your speed limit out that way. And, you know, the scooter goes along with no effort whatsoever. I haven't had it with two up at the moment, but later on I'm going to do a lot of clips on this particular scooter, and I'm also going to fit a parking brake to it because I think that's a necessity on one of these. So if you like what you've heard so far and you want to come out on trips with me and, you know, we'll go out and throw the drones up and explore the countryside and maybe pull up and have a coffee break along the side of the road, by all means, you know, sub to the channel and give this clip a like, and you know, I can catch you back on the next clip and we'll go further on this. So, you know, I've got a lot of things planned for it, so keep that in mind. If you want a dedicated scooter channel where you can come and have a look what the Xmax and how it's going and the mods I do to it, by all means come back and join me on this adventure. So once again, thanks for tuning in, and if you're still here at this stage, I appreciate the fact you've been here, and I'll catch up with you on the next clip, and bye for now. Really good country out here, so it's probably some of the better country. Pretty expensive if you want to buy this area. As you can see, the ground's in really nice condition, so all the way through here it's a good place to be. Yeah, creek looks good. I've never fished on this property because they would never ever let you go in there fishing, but would have been a good place to go in and have a go, that's for sure. So we're pushing out now around closing in on 1 kilometre mark, and there's another road there. Once we get to this road, I have actually fished for trout on the other side of this little bridge here, and we'll swing around that one. I've been through the place once we cross over this road here. It's remarkable how things look so much better from the air compared to when you used to go past these places and have no idea. But like I said, I have been into this place here now, what we're going to. And we're just crossing the road there. Now we might swing around, follow this downstream. That's one advantage of a drone. You can sort of turn things around, follow it. We're now 1.5 kilometres out. There's plenty of water in that creek. I reckon it would have been a good one if you had the chance to go into that place fishing for trout, but like I said, never happened. But I can bet it would have been really interesting. I tried many times to get in there, but no luck whatsoever. Look at that for a hole. What a ripper. Bet you there's trout in there just waiting to throw themselves on the hook. Look at that, really nice holes after hole. Never knew it was so good until I had a look around this. Let's bring it down. Oh, look at that big one. Bet you there's a trout in there. That is one really nice hole. We'll follow this up a bit further. Yeah, the only way you would have got in there would have been poaching trout. That's the only way you would have got in, and the chances of doing that would not have been good.